In this essay, I talk about making things with your hands. Here, there's a tetraeder. Yeah, this has nothing to do with video. This was not a good start. Maybe I do a second take. Again, another live video that is not live. So there are actually much more people that want to study in university than there are places. So there are not so many places for all the people that want to study in university, because now so many people have the highest degree, like school degree in Germany. We have 3 different degrees. One very basic that almost no one is doing anymore, like the where you do only 9 years, I think, or 9 years. And with this you can really not do much. Then there is the second one, you can do a bit more. And then there is the highest one. With this you can study in university. Yes. And more people do this highest one. It used to be very few people. Like in socialist Eastern Germany, it was very chosen few that did this highest education, and the rest was doing the other 2. Because obviously there it was much more planned. Like, we need this and this people for this and this jobs, and so they planned it before, and then they got the people for that. And now we are in a different situation. I mean, in Western Germany since a long time, but I live in East Germany, and now we have a different situation. And what happened in the last years, that this better education gets more and more accessible to the people, which is great. No, it's wonderful that people are higher educated, because higher education is one of the most important things probably for peace and so on. I also have this peace. Peace? No, I didn't plan this. It just happened, this joke. Yeah, here there's another piece. And the situation is that, so in academia, more people than we need want to go there, but in the manual labor jobs we have not enough people. Yeah, we have many open training spots. Is this called like this? Like where you get your training to become a electrician or smith or whatever. I don't know how it's called in English anyway. So we have much more places for people than people that want to do that. And this is not because people all of a sudden lost their hands because they fell off. This is because we are living in a culture that values thinking much more than creating something with your hands. Yeah, the mind is valued much higher than the physicality. And this is also a problem in Western philosophy. Many of the philosophies have talked against the body, against creating things with your hands, but argued from wherever, I don't know from where, argued that the mind is the highest and the spirit is the highest, and that, I don't know, working with your hands is not much of a value. Funny enough, these people are spending their time in buildings, in houses that are usually built by people with their hands. And I think also they live a life that is very dependent on things that are made with their hands. So in our society, we got very far into this mind thing and valuing the mind very much. And these jobs are also usually paid better, or not always, but many of these jobs are actually paid better, or at least valued much higher than the manual labor jobs, which now create the situation that we don't have enough people that want to work in the manual labor jobs, which actually creates a very nice situation for people that work in this on at least a financial level, probably not on a level of the amount of work, because there's a lot of work. As in Germany, we are building a lot at the moment. We got many new citizens, and we got many people that come from the countryside into the cities. So in the cities, we are building a lot, and people have to wait a long time until they get an electrician or someone to build the floor, or whatever they want. But it needs a long time because everyone is fully booked, and everyone can also take more money for the services. So it's a very nice situation for these people, because usually they don't get paid very well. But why? What's the reason that we value the work with the hands so much lower than the work with the mind? If you have read Peak by Anders Ericsson, there he makes the claim that something like talent doesn't exist. It's always just putting the amount of hours of deliberate practice in. So if you want to be a great musician, you need to do deliberate practice for this amount of time, and blah 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 blah. And he shows this like several examples. For example, of this Czech guy that trained his 3 daughters to become world champions in chess. He decided before they were born that they will become this, to make a claim that people can become also everything, basically, if they just are in the right surrounding and putting the work in. And I think we are seeing the same with the higher education, because now it's much more accessible. More and more people have this higher education. And if we argue from the standpoint of Anders Ericsson, it means that there's no inherently more unique about studying mathematics compared to being an electrician in a way, because the potential, everyone has the potential, it's just the environment. So we can have an environment where everyone is very good in mathematics, but no one can create some pottery, just because this is what's happening in the environment. Obviously, some things are more difficult than the other. That's for sure. That's for sure that for higher mathematics you need a lot of time, and some basic pottery, on the other hand, you can learn in a few hours. But always the mastery of everything, doesn't matter what it is a long, very long path. Since I'm talking about pottery, I have an example I want to mention. So I'm going into the kitchen. We changed the places for things, so I don't find anything anymore in this live video that is not live. Yeah, here it is. So Annika and me, we did a pottery workshop some months ago. We went to a workshop and did some pottery there with we did some pottery there, blah blah blah. And we noticed that most people did or try to do things with their hands. We just work with the hands, not with the moving plate thing. We just made it only with the hands, no additional tools besides some knife or something like this. And people try to make things that look exactly like from the shop, like fabricated, like made from machines. And I really liked what Annika made, because she made this cup that you see has a bit, or it's actually not so easy to see on the phone, but it has a different structure. It's not something that a machine would usually make. Of course, you can probably create a machine that will do this, but this is not something you can regularly buy. This is something special. This is made with the hands, and it has a unique look. But most people, if they work with their hands, they want to create something that looks like it's made from a machine. What a weird situation. So why can we not make things ourselves that look like it's made, like it's handmade? But for some reason people don't want things to look handmade. Things need to have this very linear look without any. There cannot be any other lines than like the straight line and the perpendicular angle. And we, for some reason, discredit these things that look handmade. It's very weird, but it's again a cultural thing. It's just a cultural thing. And I've met so many people that have just no clue how to work with their hands. Also people that are very skillful in movement. Even people that teach international workshops I've met that cannot change literally a bike tire. So very basic things from my opinion. Yeah, in Eastern Socialist Germany, when everyone knew how to do these things, yeah, and women were not excluded from it. And nowadays, women are so excluded from a lot of work with the hands. Or let's phrase it better. There's certain things with the hands, like knitting and tailoring and stuff. This is considered more female, and other things like working with wood or something like that, or with metal, is considered more male. Yeah, why? Tell me why. Tell me what is the reason for this. The only thing you can imagine is it's because one is more, can need more strength, more physical strength. But since now we have all these electrical tools, it's actually completely obsolete. Like with all the electrical tools on many layers, there's no difference anymore between male and female, because this high amounts of physical strength is not needed anymore. Yes, there are still jobs that are very male. Like if I order a washing machine, for example, most likely it will be delivered by a male. It makes sense because it's so heavy, a washing machine. Yeah, but anyway, like if we think about materials, it doesn't make so much sense anymore to have this consideration. But all the time when I buy some cloth to make something, to make a t-shirt or whatever, I'm always looked at weird in these shops, because I'm considered not a customer for them. Yeah, and then the moment I start to buy, they realize, oh, okay, this is not someone that got lost here and accidentally is in this shop, but it's actually a person that is buying some cloth. But I always see the looks in the women. It's always women that sell stuff in the shops, that own the shops. I always see the look that, what the fuck are you doing here? You don't belong here. This is a shop for women. Okay, so maybe we can transcend also this, that certain crafts and materials are for males and others are for women. That would be nice. And the biggest thing to transcend is that we value the work of the brain so much higher than the work of the hand. Because if everyone is working on the computer, because everyone works on the computer nowadays, wants to work on the computer. Everyone wants to work on the computer. okay, but if everyone works on the computer who is doing the stuff, the place where I'm in a house, it was built by machines, but with hands also. Nothing like this can be built without people that have the hands that can craft, that have the knowledge how to do all these things. You cannot do this on a computer. All the real things are made by the hands, not by a computer, not on the computer, not sitting there. This is like the extension of a brain in a way. But if you want to create something real, and we live in a real world, this is what we use. Yeah. So let's sum it up. We are in the situation where more people want to be in university than people that want to work with their hands. So we have too many people that want to go to university compared to people that want to do manual labor jobs where we have not enough people. And this situation is not because of any innate physical or mental thing that exists within us from the start. It is a cultural thing. It's just a cultural thing. What do we value? And as we value the work of the brain so high, this is what people want to do, because people want to do what is valued higher in society. Good. So this is a problem we face at the moment, and we face some other things that are not a problem, but for me it's just a bit sad that people have very little skills with their hands. They don't want to do stuff themselves because it's also not valued very high. You can look in this topic, you can look for Nico Pech's very interesting idea of moderate division of labor, moderate Arbeitsteilung, where he has the idea of you work only 20 hours a week instead of 40, and you do more stuff yourself instead of buying everything. And this I find a wonderful idea. I find it such a great idea to say, okay, we as a society work all less, but then we use the time to do stuff ourselves that we would usually buy. Great. I think it would improve our life tremendously. Our happiness would be improved tremendously by this, because we get so alienated from everything, from where our food comes from where our clothes come from, blah, 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 all this stuff. Yeah, good. Okay, I thought it's a 3-minute video, now it's 20 minutes, blah, blah, blah. Thank you for enduring. And now I drink a tea from this nice cup.